Yo everyone, what is up? Welcome back to Top Tier Arcade. My name is Steve, and we're in the apartment where we're just about to call an Uber, and we're just about back to hit on tour. And this time it's going to be to Kevin's place, which is called the Playfield Arcade. You know, I've known Kevin for a few years now, and he's been nice enough to invite me this evening just to hang out at his parents' place, where he does have his arcade as we speak, and really get to know him a little more, give a name to the face, because I know I've explained in the past that I've known a couple of arcade guys and who got me essentially in the hobby. And I've never checked his place out. I'm excited to hang out with him. It's already dark, as you can see outside. It's 6 o'clock, and I'm already hating winter, and I know it's only started. But let's try to have some fun and keep it positive. Now, the crazy thing about Kevin, and I'll explain a little later, is the reason why he's so important into me collecting in the hobby is because if it wasn't for him collecting back in the day, he would have not influenced his uncle Edward, who I met in February of 2012 at a party by accident, talking about, you know, I'll get into it a little later, but I remember just talking to the waitress about, you know, the new renovation they had in the space, you know, in the restaurant. And I'm like, hey, one day I want that lighting in my man cave if I ever get, like, you know, a space and have, you know, a games room. And he goes, well, what do you mean a games room? I want one too. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, my, you know, nephew started collecting arcade machines, you know, in pinball. And I'm like, hey, years ago I wanted to do that as well. I'm like, yes, I want to do that as well. So then after that, I started looking online. And a few months later, I had my own original Miss Pac-Man cab. So this is kind of the genesis of how actually Hull started. And one day I'm sure we'll visit Edward's place, which is Kevin's uncle. And again, the first person that I spoke to really get me in the gear. Again, I was going to get into the hobby, but I never knew it wouldn't have manifested into this. I mean, this is absurd. But anyways, why don't we do this? Let's call the Uber. I'm going to just quickly shower and get ready. And let's check out the Playfield Arcade. Let's talk to Kevin, get to know him a little more personally, and check out his collection. Okay, so we just have to go through the side. Oh, there it is. The Playfield Arcade. Oh, that's cool. Okay, let's go in. Kevin said the door's open. Well, he should be downstairs. All right, so we've arrived. All right. Kevin. Yo, what up, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
All right.
Thanks for having me. So, what's up? Why don't you show us the room?
All right.
So why don't we get started? So, guys, yeah, again, this is Kevin, a friend of mine I've known for a few years now. We're gonna sit down once we do the review, and for some crazy stories how we actually met without knowing each other. But yeah, why don't we get started? I mean, it's looks like a MAME, right? Tell me about this.
Yeah, so this was the first arcade that I had, and I was like, oh, well, we'll just make a MAME, and, you know, bought a Game Alpha kit and, you know, just put it into a little cabinet. Got a Street Fighter thing just for fun.
And the marquee.
Yeah, there you go, marquee. So this was the first arcade that I did. This used to be my pinball room, and I had 4 games in here. This is a Nintendo Wii U kiosk.
This is cool. This is pretty. This is what, within the last 5 years?
Yeah. I got this brand new when Target went bankrupt here in Canada.
Oh, right. That's right.
And so this was sitting on a skid, and I didn't know what I bid on in an auction because they didn't say anything. All they said was Nintendo, and I just saw a box, and no one knew what they were bidding on. And so I was like, oh man, do I bid on this? And I'm like, what am I buying? And I'm like, oh, I guess I can stand to lose a little bit with, you know, Nintendo. And so, you know, I bid and won it for $200, and I didn't know what I was getting because the guy told me, oh, it's in the back on a skid. And when I picked it up, everything was brand new. The TV wasn't even installed on it yet. I had to put it all together, and I was like, wow, this is great.
What did it come with?
So just this TV,
right,
and then the stand. It didn't come with a kiosk or anything, but it came with these remotes built in, so they plug in, and, you know, you can connect it with a Wii U. So
right.
This is just a standard Wii U that I got with it. It came with a brand new Nintendo key.
Cool, look at that. That's neat.
Yeah, so this is for the box, and then inside it came with all these little I think, subwoofer.
Cool.
This is to connect your controllers with. Oh no, this is the LED. This is for the LEDs. And so they have a couple of stuff in there to hook up for a kiosk.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
$200, huh? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you took a risk though, right? You took a risk. It could have been literally.
Well, that's why I won it, because nobody knew what it was. And so I was like, yes, $200. So I was happy with that.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then come this way to the pinball room.
All right. That's cool. Now tell me about this setup. When I came in again, this is an Xbox 360. This is another kiosk.
Is Xbox 360 kiosk. I picked it up really cheap because the guy had it in his garage. It wasn't set up. There's parts missing, but pretty much it lit up. The fans worked. It had no TV. Right. I was lucky enough to find the exact TV for this model, and so I picked up the TV. And then I thought, well, you know what? Just for fun, because it's an Xbox. You know, I put in an original Xbox that's modded, and it has all the main games, and then I hooked it up with an X Arcade, so that at least you have like a joystick with it. And then I got 2 more Xbox controllers, so you can play 4 players.
That's cool. That's really cool. Tell me, I remember you showed me this. Tell me the quick about the story with the Tommy.
So that Tommy calculator.
Can I take it down?
Yeah, take it down. I found this at the Mississauga video game convention, GameX.
Right.
It was sitting in the bottom of the guy's booth in a bin, and a little kid picked it up, and I was like, shit, I know I've seen this before on Pinside, people talking about it. And the kid picked it up, and the guy told him, oh, you can have it for free. And the little kid looked at it and he says, what the hell? It's a calculator. I don't want a calculator.
That's cool,
Can I have this Game Boy instead? And the guy said, sure. So as soon as the kid put it down, I grabbed it and picked it up, and I told the guy, all right, how much you want for this?
Yeah.
And the guy looked at me and he said, tell you what, $5. And I gave him the money so quick, he's like, shit, I should have asked for more money. But this is a cool...
Let me look a little... That's cool. So the actual pop-uppers and the flippers, it's an actual calculator. That's cool, man. And apparently, so what, like Data East, or they gave this to their employees, or how did it...
Yeah, they gave this to the people that worked on the game, as well as people from the music production.
That's cool, man.
So I was really happy to snag that.
That's cool. Yeah. This is this is just a magnet, right?
Yeah, so this is our high score board that we made. It's all based on magnets. This part here is not, though. This part is cut out vinyl and then stuck on. But these parts here, you know, you can easily change scores and, of course, your initials.
That's cool. Let's keep going. Let's see. So, boom, we'll go for the... Oh, this is... You know, I didn't recognize this when I came... How'd you get this?
Yeah, so this was free. I picked it out of a garbage bin.
I was going to ask if I can have some Smarties.
No, I cleaned it out.
Oh, okay.
I put in new candies and stuff. Washed it out, but literally...
Shit. Oh, neat.
Oh,
2?
Yeah.
You're so cheap.
I cleaned out all the mechs and everything. You have to actually put in 25 cents. But yeah, this was in a big garbage bin. I had to jump inside the garbage bin to pick it up. But it was worth it. But it's heavy, man. Try and lift that. It's like...
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
I thought it was like, it's not one of these beaver ones.
No, this is a commercial grade one. Siega.
That's interesting. But how do you make it so you don't need quarters?
No, you do. It's just that it was already halfway gone already.
Oh,
so
I see.
It gives it. It's not... See how it turns a bit?
I see.
But yeah, you're supposed to put in 25 cents. So my nieces and nephews always come here and they always turn it. But they know that I have the back open for quarters and they'll just put in money. And they're like, yay, candy.
Oh, it is heavy. Let's start with the first one. So there's Jackpot.
Jackpot, yeah. This was my newest pickup. It's a fun game. Good looking game. I'm really happy with it.
Is there any Playfield blur? No, huh?
No, it's pretty good.
And that's the last one, right? There's Pinbot, Broaded Pinbot, and Jackpot, right?
Yeah, it's the third one in the series and the last one in the series. So the only DMD one.
That's true. Yeah, that's right.
Basically, it's just Pinbot, and then they put on a DMD and they change the modes. But it's the same layout as regular Pinbot.
I actually like Pinbot better than Bride of Pinbot, I have to be honest.
I like Bride of Pinbot.
You really?
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't played it enough. Now, that Whitewater was obviously off on like your game, but you had to move it, right?
Yeah, so it was my brother-in-law's game, so it went to his place, but he doesn't have room for the topper.
Makes sense.
It's just here on display.
Now, this is not your game, though, because this
T2
is one
not mine. It's one of my buddies. I'm just babysitting it for him. It's a great game, though. I wish I could own it.
I still like T3 better. I mean, the game, not the movie, but so be it. Next is, of course, Space Shuttle. You said this is the one you play most when you come down here, isn't it?
Yeah, this is probably, like, one of my most favorite games. Like, when I think of pinball, this is the game I think of for pinball.
Really?
Yeah.
It's loud, though. I don't know why it has, like, a bell. It never made sense to me on a spaceship game, but whatever, it's loud.
I love hearing that bell, man.
It's satisfying.
Shuttle.
It's satisfying. There's Space Shuttle. Next, the game you don't see that often. It's actually pretty cool. Starship Troopers, obviously based on the movie. It's a Sega game. Look at all these toys. You said this is do you think it's pretty underrated?
It's definitely an underrated game.
Really, huh?
This was the first DMD game that I owned. But one thing that I loved about it was because it was by Sega.
Yeah. A lot of cool... Look how many toys there are.
You know, this was one of the games back in the day that came fully decked out.
It's cool because when I was playing, when you went upstairs for a sec, like...
The brain bug pops out.
Yeah, like Medieval Madness or like My Hobbit. Like and it's big too. It's a really big target. And it comes out quick. It's actually a really cool game. Next, again, you don't see that often, Royal Rumble. You said this is the only wide-body Date East, and their last one, wasn't it?
Yes.
What a great game. You know, at first I didn't really like it that much, but I gave it a shot because I actually used to wrestle, so I like the, I've met a lot of the wrestlers and whatever else. Some have passed. Good game, though.
But what I like about it, though, is if, shooting the shots, you hear all the different wrestlers' iconic theme song music.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's cool. I like Royal Rumble. Now, this one also is the same owner as T2. Did East Jurassic Park. I guess it's getting a little more popular now that the new movies are out, and also the new Jurassic Parks come out for Stern too, right?
Yep.
How do you like this game? I love the theme. This is actually on my long list if I was to ever get it. What do you think of the game?
It's a fun game to play. Like, originally, going through the modes, it was always the same, but he has a custom ROM installed so that the modes are randomized.
I've heard that.
So it makes it more easier to play.
Yeah, I've heard that. Next is Flight 2000. I haven't, even though I've seen this game a lot, I haven't played it that much.
It's one of my favorite games.
Really, huh?
Because getting that ball lock is tough. And launching it to start multi-ball, but it's such a great feeling when you do.
There is a good amount of wear, though. But you got this pretty cheap, you said, right?
Yeah, that one not too bad.
It is what it is. Back glass looks nice, though. It looks almost perfect. Huh. This is nice. Is this just a lit up...
That's a lit up translite, yeah.
That's cool. And I know you have a lot of these stand-up things from games. That's all Kingdom Hearts. This one, I guess... Oh, sorry. Let's swing back here. Jack's open. Beautiful. Now, you and your brother-in-law, you're telling me a really crazy way how you guys... I mean, it's a lengthy... We don't have to go into it, but this apparently was all worn. And then you masked it off, and this Playfield, you pretty much in a sense... You didn't reprint it, but you actually just put down like a...
Laid down all the new color on it.
That's crazy.
So all the graphics, we used silk screening so that we could get back the images. And then the rest, we frisket it off, each color one by one, and then we would airbrush it in.
That's crazy. And then, of course, we talked about this off air about incandescent, especially on EMs, versus LEDs. I like the LEDs. I think frosted, it looks actually very sharp.
Yeah, I like the LEDs in EMs, as long as it's tasteful and
Right.
nothing crazy.
And these are just regular, just
Frosted.
frosted, just high intensity, or just frosted EMs?
Just frosted.
Or frosted LEDs, I should say, yeah.
Yes.
Nice. This one, I guess, is the one that started it all. This was your first game, wasn't it, Gold
This
Wings?
was my first pin that I picked up. I knew nothing about pinball, and I was like, oh, Gottlieb, I've heard of Gottlieb. I think this is a good game. I mean, I love Top Gun.
Right.
I like the air theme, and the first thing I noticed was, oh, it has a ramp. So I thought, oh, great, this should be a fun game. You know, when I went and met up the owner, he was nice enough to teach me a little bit about pinball and how to take it apart, and you know, I trusted him and believed in him, and so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. You know, I just bought it on a whim, and me and my brother-in-law played this game for a year before meeting anybody in pinball, playing any other game, and we thought, oh man, pinball's so much fun. And so, you know, we ended up joining a league, and then after that, boom, started buying games like every year.
The addiction, I know.
Yeah.
We know how that goes. I've never actually seen this game before. Hang Glider.
Yeah,
It's a ballad. I've really never seen this game. I want to play it after.
Gottlieb, right?
Yeah.
To me, this is the best EM
Serious?
because there's so many full features in it that it should be like a solid state.
Huh. That's crazy.
Yep.
Oh, we'll play it out. Oh, that's cool. Look at those rollovers, and they're like...
Yep. That's the score bonus at the top.
That's really weird. So instead of... They're rollover targets, kind of, aren't they?
Yep.
I've never seen that before. Is this the only game that uses that?
No,
Oh, there's
a
others,
bunch
yeah?
of games that do utilize that.
I've never seen that before. Huh. Next Future Spot. Now, I know you said when you picked it up it was for very cheap, but the guy painted it white.
Yep.
Kind of sucks. I know it's a little rough fare,
Yep.
but you got a really good price, but it does play well, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful back glass.
It's all working. The back glass is mint, but for sure the playfield is rough. But you know, I'm a player, and I don't really care too much of how badly the playfield's worn, as long as it plays.
I'm the opposite, man. I like show. I'll probably get there too, but I like it both, right? But I don't mind spending a little more. I actually like this game. I know it's hit and miss, very like sex theme. Look at that. That would never fly these days. Next, Harmon Globetrotters. This is a tough game,
So this is a friend's as well.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not mine.
Same friend.
Different one.
It's a good game.
It's a fun game.
And then this, you were telling me. Now I know we were tinkering with it before. Something with and the MPU is not coming on.
Yeah, it's not booting up, but we had to take this apart to get it in, and after I rewired everything, it wasn't booting up properly.
You were telling me, we were laughing about it, how wide this game is.
Yeah.
This game is even wider than Future Spa, wider than Scorpion, wider than Pokerina, all these big games. Maybe Hercules is the only other one that's bigger, but this is huge. It is such a wide game. But it's neat, though. You were showing me, maybe we'll tinker with it after, that this Newton ball, you hit it and you can actually go either way, or both, which I've never seen that before. That's cool. You don't see this game that often. You said this is one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But I mean, for in tournament perspective, because it's only a 6-digit, you constantly roll the game, so it's not good in that respect.
Mm-hmm. You said that there was a mod that someone actually made the characters smaller, and then you can fit 7?
Yes. Yeah.
$500 mod, though, right?
It's a little bit pricey. Yep.
Oh, wow. Now you said we'll sit down, and because I know we have you have other games too, right?
Yes, they're all underneath the other.
Oh right, sorry, I forgot. That's right. Yeah, what's look how big this is. They can fit another pin under it perfectly too.
Spirit of 76.
And that's only there because you don't have room, right?
That's right. I brought that to Allentown last year.
Oh really? Okay. Oh, when you and Scott came. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So it's working. And then this one, again, that's a Gottlieb Royal Flush EM, and they painted that cab white too.
The same guy that did this?
No.
Oh, just someone?
Different. And you can see that his white is much newer than this one. So they recently painted it white, and I was like, no! I've been trying to scratch off the paint, and you can still see the old cabinet art on it. So I have to just slowly peel it off so I can get back that original artwork.
I see. Cool, man. Let's sit down. I remember I want to get to know about how you started, and the reason I want to is me and Kevin knew about each other, but we didn't because we had a mutual, like someone we knew, but we someone we knew together, but we didn't. So here's the story. When I started collecting in 2012, here's my perspective. I met your uncle 2012 at a birthday party, not knowing he was your uncle. And I remember I was looking around. So just say it was a restaurant and they had like one of those fake brick walls and it had like an LED light and it looked really nice and classy. And I'm like, hey, one day I want that in my game room. And he goes, oh, do you have a game room? And your Uncle Edward, we're at this party. And I'm like, really? And he goes, because I had the old Pajinsto slot machine back in '04 when I used to wrestle. But I eventually wanted, when I got a house, to have a little game room. So the story goes, your uncle, not knowing it was him, was like, hey, go on and you go on Kijiji, which is our version of kind of like a Craigslist. Yeah. And we look, and then the next day or next couple of days, I was at work bored, and I went out on CMS Pac-Man. I buy it within the week. And then I'm like, hey, Edward, which is your uncle, look what I got. And then he went to pick up a pinball machine with his nephew, which was you. So the weirdest way is you started before he did. Is that right, in the hobby?
Yeah, so I bought a machine first, and that got him saying, oh yeah, he always wanted it, but I was the first one to jump in and buy it. And, that was on the Palladium auction. And so I bought an arcade machine, and then, of course, he had to have one.
Right.
So then that's how it started. So after we had arcade machines, then we're like, you know what? What goes great with an arcade machine? A pinball.
Right.
And so I bought my pinball machine, and then he's like, oh, I have to have a pinball machine too. So, of course, that's how it all starts. You gotta have someone to get you motivated to buy it.
Yeah, which is ironic because behind the scenes, you started, then he got into it, and because of him telling me, then I got into it, and then 4 years later, meeting you, I'm like, what do you mean you know Edward? He goes, he's my uncle. I'm like, what the shit? What?
Yeah.
So, it's such a small world that if it wasn't for you, there would have been no him with the game, and then I would have never met him and got into the hobby as I did. What a weird set of events, huh?
But that's why it's always, such a small world. You get into one hobby, and then you start meeting other like-minded people, and bam, it's like, oh man, so-and-so, and that's how you get connected with other people. So it's great.
It is. I know when we were just eating, your first vid ever was Virtual On, right? The very first one? Yeah. Like back in 2014 was it?
Oh, I actually got that way before. So like 2012 is when I got that.
That's when I started. Really? Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And I was just like, because nobody wanted it.
It's huge.
It's massive because it's like a sit-down racer, right?
Yeah.
But it comes in 2 parts. But yeah, so I had that just because in high school, that was the game I played all the time.
Right.
I'd go to the movie theaters downtown and they'd had one and, me and my friends would play it. So I thought, oh, it's great. I'll buy it for $100, just play with it. And then I ended up just giving it away just because I had no space for it and I didn't plan on keeping it because all the pinball machines.
And you said that at your shop you also have... What game do you have there?
So I have a Star Trek Bally that's a project.
Right.
Yeah.
Rough shape though, huh?
Yeah, it's really rough.
But it works though.
It works, but it's rough.
Yeah. And then you also have, was it a cocktail or a cocktail table?
Yeah, so I have a cocktail table, just because I always thought of it more like a coffee table. So it's something small enough to have in your place living that people wouldn't think, oh, what is this? It's just a table. So that's why, I was like, yeah, you got to have a cocktail table.
Yeah. No, cocktails are good because, they're functional too. They're a table. They get literally with glass. So,
So, I use that half as a table and half to play arcade games.
What is it? Is it maimed as well?
Yeah, so I put like those 60-in-1.
All right, they're reliable, man. They're reliable. They work.
So then you can play your Pac-Man, Donkey Kong. I love playing on those.
Yeah. It's because that's how they were, which is cool. But yeah, just crazy. I know Kevin, just for you guys, I've known Kevin from, obviously because of his uncle, and then also the Pinball for Change, and that's where we actually met him. And like, what do you mean you know him? And oh, he's my uncle. That's always been crazy. Yeah. Anything else like, you don't have anything at your condo, do you?
Just the cocktail arcade.
No pins?
No pinball.
Are you concerned that, because I have 4, I mean, it's insane at my place alone. Are you concerned about noise?
Yeah, for sure sound, but the main thing is space.
Really?
Like the way that my place is set up, it's like if I had one pinball machine, it would like literally take up the whole living area.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, it's best for me to keep them. And it's nice when you can keep it in a collection too, right?
That's true.
It looks much nicer instead of having, one here and one there. So it's nice to have a space where you can just sit down and play a bunch of games. Invite some friends over.
That's true. Well, like you're doing, exactly.
Exactly.
Any other plan? Like, do you have any? I know you said that you usually wait for bargains, good deals, and you jump on them. Do you have a grail, both vid or pin, that you said, Steve, if I was to get one, that's it?
Oh man, there's too many grails for pinball machines. I mean, I'd love to have a Williams Indiana Jones.
Right.
That's like everybody's grail pin.
Right.
If I could have like a newer game, a Stern game, I'd get like an Iron Maiden.
Yeah, I like Maiden. It's actually my favorite Stern, new Stern. It
like
is.
The gameplay on that is amazing.
Yeah.
But for theme-wise and fun, like I love Deadpool.
Really?
Deadpool is so fun.
It's cool. It is fun. Yeah.
There's a lot of neat, fun features. Arcade machines, I'd love to have a big buck hunter.
Really?
I love light gun games. They're so much fun.
Right. Those two, yeah, but that's big, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, do you decide pinball machines or arcades? And I'm just like, you know what? I'd still rather play pinball machines than arcades. Even though you can maim an arcade, it's still nice to have an original. But, I don't really see myself playing too much arcade games. I'd rather play pinball just because it's more social and, you can constantly keep playing the same game.
Right. And it's always a different turnout, right? Gravity,
Exactly. Like, most of my games here, I don't even have the Grand Champ. It's somebody else. I only have, I think, one game left that I have the Grand Champ on. Someone's always knocking me off, and, I don't really sit there and play a game like, I have to get the Grand Champ. I just like to play for fun.
Right.
But, of course, everyone wants that bragging rights.
All right, of course. Yeah, Kev, anything else, you want to let us know? Or that's pretty much it, right? You're just, whatever comes up. Because you don't have a lot of room left that's here, here too.
Yeah, I have, like, zero space.
Yeah.
But, I mean, of course, if a game comes up that's, a really good value worth getting, I mean, that's how I got all my games. Just going online, hunting them down. I'm not picking the game. I'm just getting the game that's good value.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right, Kev, man, thanks for sitting down with us and talking again. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please subscribe. There's more coming out. Like I said, we're going to try to hit all collectors, friends of ours too, which makes it easy because we talk about other things. But subscribe when you haven't. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, or anything you want to say in the description below, let me know. I'll go back to Kevin as well. He'll be seeing it as well. But thanks again for checking out Top Tier. Thanks again. Have a good night. Thanks, Frank. Bye.